Whoa. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Meet the Dog. I'm Chris, this is Aniela, and with us today are Derby and Banks, who are apparently doing very well on the leash. Derby and Banks are from the Poppins litter, born back in April. We only have two more after this, actually. They're the second to last two. Their parents, of course, are Capri and Trip. They are weighing in at probably around 70 or 80 by now, I would assume. They're eating 3 times a day, 2 cups each. As for their training, of course, as you can see, Derby is a little bit crazy on the leash. He needs some work with that. Thankfully, Karen has been working with them on the leash lately, and she's been doing a great job with them so far. So I imagine it won't be long before he figures out how this works. Banks seems like he's doing a bit better. I will say that they both do very well with their recall training. I did recall training with them on Sunday and Tuesday, me and a volunteer. We did recall training with all the pups in the barn, and Derby and Banks did very well, though I get the feeling they may have just been playing the game. I was kind of picking up on they were just kind of running back and forth between me and the volunteer. But I think they do at the very least know their names, and they do come when they are called. So they're doing well with that. I'm not sure how they're doing when they go out and about. I didn't see anything about that. What we got? Good boy, Derby. Banks is identifiable as he has a little, barely visible white spot on the right side of his face, if you're looking at him, opposite of his older sister Jet. Well, I mean older by probably a few minutes. I think they're 20s. And then Derby, of course, has this big white spot on his nose. He reminds me a lot of Rambo. I don't know, were you here for Rambo and Yellow? Yes, yeah, he looks a lot like Rambo, his Uncle Rambo. I'm gonna open it up to some questions now. I don't have a ton of time, unfortunately, but hopefully we can get some good stuff in. Good boy. Yes, you're very good. You're both very good. Okay, hey. Let's not get tangled up and have a repeat of what we just had. Come on, load. Still loading for me. Let's see. Technical difficulties today. There we go. Let's see. Oh, Derby, where are you going? Hey, whoa. Stay with me, buddy. Stay right here with me. Any questions about Derby and Banks? Good boy. There you go. Very good. You know, I would argue, but fair enough. That is fair. Any questions about Banks and Derby? Whoa. You do not do that. That's not a toy. It's not a chew toy. Okay. Cruft, yes, how have they been training in the variable weather this week? Honestly, they don't care about the rain. They completely ignore it. Unless it's like absolute downpour, they are completely fine with it, so it has not slowed them down at all. I know a couple of days ago, when it was raining, Karen was walking them in the rain. It hadn't gotten real bad yet, but she was getting some walking in while it was with Jet, actually. Karen's made it her mission to get Jet to walk well on the leash. She's gonna get some progress. But she was walking Jet in the rain, and Jet did not seem to care about the rain at all. I think I can say the same for these two, considering how they keep trying to jump in front of the hose when I'm hosing.
Oh yes, Derby loves water. Derby loves water.
Don't lick my boobs. Yeah, I gotta say, this litter is probably, out of all the litters I've worked with, they love water the most. Yes. Crafty also asks, how are they like their mother and older siblings? As I mentioned before, Derby looks a lot like his uncle Rambo, Capri's brother, also of the Sizzler's litter. And I will say, like their older siblings, they are a very rambunctious group, though a bit better behaved than the Christmas litter. Derby and Banks tend to whine for their food a lot like their big brother Davis. So I think they're probably going to be a lot like them when they grow up. Actually, I think all the boys except for Dawes whine for their food right now. So, what else? Right now they are very, very much like their older siblings, I would say. Crafty asks, when do you think they will start on overnights? I think probably their first overnights are going to be when we start spaying and neutering them, and they will probably be going home with some people for while they recover from that. I think, honestly, they are free to go. I think even now, since they've gotten their rabies shots and they're all cleared for that, as far as I know, they're all cleared for that, they should be ready to go on overnights at any time. I know I haven't been able to take any of them yet because my family's in the process of moving. So right now we're not really in a spot where we can take where we can have a second dog at home. Even just for a night, it's a bit difficult for us right now. So maybe after we finish that, I might start taking some of them home with me. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I saw him crawling across earlier. Indy asks, how would you describe their personalities when they are playing with their siblings? Honestly, they get along very well with their siblings. They are very amicable to each other. Like I said, they're all very rambunctious, so they all play incredibly well together. They really get their energy out. Dawes has recently kind of developed a bit of a habit of bullying the boys, especially Derby, it seems like. I've noticed he's really kind of throwing his weight around, and Derby is absolutely just kind of letting it happen. So Derby's kind of, it seems like he's a bit more submissive. We want to get on top of that, but it's hard when we aren't actively seeing it happen, because we keep hearing about it. We keep hearing about it being on the camera, but unless we actually see it happening, it's hard to do anything about it. I know the one time I saw it, it was hard to tell if they were playing or not, because it was just Derby. Yes, it was Derby. Derby was on his back, belly up. Dawes was kind of just sniffing him over, and couldn't really tell if they were playing or if Dawes was bullying him. And I didn't want to kind of jump in and correct them if they were just playing. So it's a tough thing to get on top of, especially when you're not actively seeing it. Fluffy22 asks, when are the Poppins going to be spayed and neutered? Well, next month is going to be their 6 months, So I think once we hit that 6 months mark, that's probably going to be when we start looking into booking their appointments. I don't know who's first on the list. I don't know if we're going to start immediately at the 6 months mark. But I know that's usually when we start planning on getting the spayed and neuters after the 6 months. Indy Dunes asked, do they both enjoy going off property to train? I'm not sure, actually. I don't know how they've been doing off property. I can imagine they're probably a little bit anxious when they're going off property since they're still not super used to it. But they're also pretty confident as far as litters go, so I don't think they would hate it. Probably ask trainers about that next time and see if I can find out how they've been doing off property. I'm going to give it 1 more minute for any last-minute questions. Started a bit late, so we're going to have to finish a bit late. So any last-minute questions about Derby and Banks? Well, they calm down, huh? Derbs. Very good. Now, you were a nightmare when I first put that leash on you, but now you're doing a lot better. You look like Rambo. You're missing a little white, but you got the same nose mark he does. I think that is all the time we have, so thank you all very much for tuning in. Oh, wait, hold on. I do have one last minute question. This will be our last question. Fluffy22 asks, are you planning on keeping any intact? Not to my knowledge. I know we've already had some. I know Capri has had a couple health issues, so that's probably being taken into consideration. But as far as I know, I haven't heard about keeping any of them intact. Yeah, so I don't think we are. Of course, we'll see if that is to be changed at all. But as far as I've heard, no. All right, but that's all the time we have. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week, probably with the final 2 of the Poppins litter. Until then, everybody take care.